Here's the start of the first fixture plate. I'm just trying to clean up the face. Here it is cleaned up after I milled it off some. I didn't get a lot of video of making this fixture, so I took very still pictures and video. This is the fixture plate, the top of it after it's finished machined. Then I took it out of the vise and flipped it over here and put in a couple of counter bores that for some screws that are coming in the back of the plate, as well as I think I put some bored dowel pin holes in it too. Here's just setting the 0 for the program with the Renishaw probe on this hole I drilled through, so I could set the 0 there in the CAM software to run the program. Just using the whirly burr to deburr these counter bores for these screws. You may be able to see the two dowel pin holes now as well. Here's the back support, I called it, in this fixture, and this is preparing the end and the sides. Like I said, I didn't take total video of all of this stuff. These are just photos, kind of highlights of what happened with the part. Oh, here's a little grinding sequence. Right in the middle of making this fixture, they come and said, we need this end mill to make that 76-degree angle in the bottom of this counter bore. So I just put this little grinding sequence, the tool and cutter grinder, grinding this tool. I actually ground the tool. You can't run this thing without the oil on those diamond wheels, because diamond grinding wheels are sensitive to temperature, so if you overheat the wheel, you'll mess the diamond up. So I ground the tool, and then I ran this program again and took this video just so you could see the grinding, because you can't see anything with that oil coolant running. So that's what this is. So changing to this first wheel here that roughs off any additional material right on the end of the blank, which is what it's going to do now. And then it comes in again and it roughs off the angle of the tool, so that the other grinding wheels don't have to take so much material off of there when they're, cutting the primary and secondary clearance with the cup wheel. So that's what it would be doing now. Like I say, the tool's already ground, but this is just to demonstrate what happens. So that ground just roughed a taper off on the end of the blank. Then we changed to the other wheel pack here, which has the fluting, the gashing wheel, and the cup wheel that you typically use to grind the cutting edges on most tools like end mills and stuff. So this particular machine can hold two grinding wheel packs, and it changes the coolant manifold, the coolant hoses, if you will, manifold as well, so you can set that up for the specific wheels that you're grinding with. Because it's, like I said before, it's very important to have the proper cooling oil, the oil on the grinding wheel and a diamond wheel in particular, because the diamond is heat sensitive, and if you get it too hot, it'll destroy the diamond. So here's the fluting wheel. Come in. This is sped up a little bit because it would just take the video too long. So that flutes it, that wheel. You come back with the gashing wheel, and it gashes the tip of the tool, the very tip, and then the cup wheel cuts the primary and secondary clearance angles. It's cutting the secondary one now, and then here's the primary clearance angle on the tool. So this is the tool after it was ground. Actually, it was a double-ended tool, but this is one end of it to make that taper in the end, in the bottom of the counter bore. I think it's a high-pressure fitting of some sort. Here's just a little time lapse of of me changing the tombstone fixtures out for what I needed. I had to take this one off that I'm doing right here off the pallet with the vices on it, because I had to put this other one on. This tombstone was made for a different part, but I was going to use it to hold the fixture on this one. I forgot I had to have this subplate on there before I put this up, so I lifted it with the crane, and when I got it up there, I looked at it so the holes don't line up, so I'd put it back down on the pallet and move the other tombstone, get this aluminum fixture plate, mount it on there first, screw it down, and then I send it into the machine to indicate it in straight, so the T-slots are straight within, to the travel of the machine, the X-axis. Bring it back out, clean it off, stone it down with a stone, make sure there's no burrs on the top of it. Then I could mount this fixture. I kind of here eyeballing it in a second with the fixture to see where I might want it back, how far back on the pallet I wanted it. So I'm just going to hold it down with 4 screws. That'd be good enough for this machining operation. So here it is in the machine. The back side of that is for a different part. That's what the fixture was made for, actually, to machine these. There was these big casting angle things. I don't know what they were for, but so I'm indicating it in the X-axis here. Tap it around, get it straight, and then check it up and down. And then tighten the screws down tight on both sides, and then check it again with the indicator to make sure it didn't move after I tighten the screws, which you'll see here was within less than 1/1000th of an inch across the whole thing in the X direction. And up and down it was that square too. I didn't show that, but it was apparently very square. This machine stays very square and straight. Here I'm just facing off the tops of these bolts that are I guess the rest bolts, or the bottom rest on the fixture that the casting sets on. I didn't want those marks on there because it'd be kind of hard to turn them, and I wanted them flat on the top, so I faced off the tops of all of them. So that's them faced off. And then I had to drill some spanner wrench holes in the sides of the hex, so I had to, in order to hold it in the vise, I faced the other end of the screw off, so I had it square to the head. Here I'm indicating the part 0 with the probe, because I'm just going to drill I think it was a 260 thousandths hole in each hex flat, so that I could put a wrench in there to turn the things, because I couldn't fit the regular open-end wrench in there in the fixture. It ran into the elements of the fixture, so I had to do that in order to be able to turn those, snug them up against the casting when it's on the fixture. Just zeroing out the Speroni height gauge. This is what I use to set tools on, the length offsets on the horizontal mill. It doesn't have a tool probe, but it does have a spindle probe, so I use this device, this Speroni height gauge, to set the offsets. So I would line it up. It just got like a little optical comparator on it, so I line it up with the tip of the tool, or whatever feature I'm setting 0 on the tool, and then I read this digital readout over here, and that Z number on the bottom would be my height offset that I would put on the offset page of the machine. So here's just drilling the holes. I sped this up, but you get the idea. I just drilled each one and indexed the part. I did that to all 4 of these screws, so that I have these spanner wrench holes in effect in the screw so I could stick an Allen wrench in there and turn it. So that's, I'm just showing one of them in the video here. Like I say, I didn't get 100% of the machining on this fixture. Here's changing the pallet out of the machine, the vise. And then the fixture, that's the finished fixture bolted on the tombstone now. So that's how the casting is going to be held for the machining operations. I kind of didn't get with it ordering tooling for this, so I wanted to show some of the machine work in this video. So that'll have to wait till the next video because I'm still waiting on a few pieces of tooling to do this machine work on this part. But I did have a question with the customer, so I got to go down to the customer's facility and look at what this thing actually does in the parts. And here's a picture of it. It's a piece that fits on this tong wrench that they call it, that tightens and loosens pipes on oil wells, and that's the casting where it sets on the assembly. Thought you might be interested in seeing that. Hope I don't get in trouble with the customer showing these images, but probably doesn't watch my videos anyway. So that's it for this video.